Have you ever walked away from a conversation and thought, why did I just say all that? Like your brain pressed send before your mouth finished proofreading. That's not just awkward, it's oversharing. And it's something we don't talk about enough. Because oversharing isn't just about saying too much. It's a survival strategy, a nervous system habit, a psychological response rooted in fear, trauma, loneliness, and sometimes even addiction. So why do we overshare? Why do some of us open the floodgates on the first date, the first hangout, even the first 5 minutes of meeting someone? Let's break it down. Oversharing is when you reveal deeply personal information without context, timing, or trust. It's not the same as vulnerability, not even close. Oversharing is unfiltered. It's emotionally impulsive. It's that feeling of if I don't say this now, I'll explode. And while it may feel brave in the moment, it often leads to regret, not connection. Here's why we do it. First, anxiety. When silence creeps in, anxious minds rush to fill it. So we talk. Fast. Emotionally. Anything to keep the moment alive, even if it means oversharing things we'd never say in a calm state. Second, dopamine. Talking about yourself triggers a dopamine hit in the brain. And your brain loves dopamine. It feels good to be seen, to tell your story. But it's a sugar rush. You crash later, especially when you realize they weren't listening as deeply as you hoped. Third, emotional starvation. If you feel invisible in your life, unheard, unseen, you may use oversharing to force emotional intimacy, even with strangers, even with someone who hasn't earned that access. Then there's trauma, specifically the fawn response. It's not fight, not flight. It's people-pleasing through confession. You reveal your pain, your stories, your truths, not to connect but to survive, to say, if I make you feel close to me, maybe you won't hurt me, maybe you won't leave. People with anxious attachment do this a lot. They overshare to build closeness quickly, as if the faster they tell you everything, the faster you'll stay. Sometimes it's not even about connection. It's about control. Oversharing as a way to dominate the conversation, to overshare before someone can reject us, or to test them. If I tell you the darkest parts of me and you don't flinch, maybe I'm safe. But that's not intimacy. That's fear disguised as honesty. And now, we live in a world that encourages it. Social media taught us that strangers are safe. We trauma dump in captions. We spill our breakups in comments. We cry on camera and press post. Oversharing became content, not connection. But here's the twist. Oversharing can feel really good. For about 5 minutes. You get that high of being known. You feel brave, raw, real. But later, you get the vulnerability hangover. That awful feeling that whispers, did I say too much? Do they see me differently now? Did I just ruin the moment? And often you did. Not intentionally, but because the emotional pace wasn't mutual. You sprinted. They were just walking. And that's the danger. Oversharing creates the illusion of closeness. Without the reality of safety, people feel overwhelmed. They may pull away. Not because you're too much, but because the connection wasn't earned. It was rushed. That's how trust erodes. When everything's on the table too soon, people stop being curious. They don't lean in. They step back. Sometimes they use what you said against you, especially in toxic dynamics. Your honesty becomes ammunition. So here's the key. Oversharing is not the same as vulnerability. Vulnerability is slow, intentional, mutual. It's saying, here's a piece of me, and I trust you to hold it. Oversharing is like emotional vomiting. It feels like release, but it doesn't create understanding. It creates distance. So how do you stop? Start by asking, why am I sharing this right now? Is it connection or anxiety? Use the 48-hour rule. If it wouldn't feel right to share 2 days from now, don't share it today. Try layered vulnerability. Think of your story like a book. You don't hand someone chapter 12 before they've earned chapter 2. And find safer outlets. Journals, voice notes, therapists, not coworkers, not strangers, not new friends who haven't earned your trust yet. Because here's the truth. You don't need to be emotionally naked to be real. You can be open without being exposed. And just because someone asks doesn't mean they deserve your answer. Oversharing is often a defense mechanism dressed up as honesty. But real power? Real safety? It comes when you can sit with your own story and choose who gets to hear it. Not everyone deserves the raw footage of your life. Some only get the trailer. Others get the behind the scenes. But very few get the full film. So if you've ever felt like you overshare to be liked, accepted, or seen, it's not because you're broken. It's because somewhere along the line, you learned that honesty was your only currency. But that's a lie. Your worth is not measured by how exposed you are. Your value doesn't go up because you bleed in public. Here at June and Journey, we decode patterns like this, the ones that shape our behavior, our relationships, and our inner lives. So if you're ready to stop oversharing just to survive, and start connecting from a place of strength, hit subscribe. Join the people learning to protect their peace without hiding who they are. And tell me in the comments, what's one thing you overshared that you wish you'd kept to yourself?